out of the box or out of the wall, whatever you want to call it, we have almost another anime. Like I said, I'm not the biggest anime person, but I went on a anime rampage like years ago, and I'm finally watching them. This is ChäoS Head. This is the super amazing value edition. Should you be a part of the ChäoS Heads? I don't even know why it's called that after I watched it. ChäoS Head. Chase Liafi here, Blue Futon reviewing ChäoS Head. So what's about? Pretty simple premise. This is a 12-episode anime about a guy who's a loner. He lives in a Connex container, and all he wants to do is play video games. His 2D girls is all he's about. And then there are these 3D girls, but I think it's pretty funny that he calls them that to kind of, I want to say, expand his horizon or get out of his bubble and kind of know what's around him except being this Connex, because there are D-swords, there's matrix elements, and there's dudes with backpacks that are trying to manipulate the world. So I like this show. I thought it was a pretty good show. It kept me entertained. It had some good humor. The animation style was fine. I think the story was pretty solid, except the last, I would say, 2 episodes. But the overall experience, I enjoyed each character, the elements they brought, and just the funness of it. That's the thing. This didn't take itself too seriously. It knew it was going to be a 12-episode show, and I did enjoy the depth of some of it. Because you could say this is a Matrix-y type of show, and it completely is. It's about simulations. What is real? What isn't real? What should you be doing? Should you be kind of closed off in your own bubble, or should you not be such a dick to your sister? Should you see how your parents are doing? Should you actually kind of open up to people and not be like, nope, I just want to play my video games and shut myself out from the world? And that is fine for some people, I guess, to, maybe, I don't know, maybe it isn't, maybe it is, because I could say that, but then I don't know what we were like back in the day. Like, for shits and giggles, if we want to talk about, 1850s, whatever country in the world, were they as talkative as we are now today? Because now and today we have the Facebook, we have the X's, we have, so many more people in the world that are so much close together that these interactions do happen. Well, that's what you think. But then you go to New York and no one really talks to each other. Then you go to other parts of the world, no one talks to each other except online when you're fighting on Facebook. And I got to a Facebook rant about Karl Marx and how he's a racist and anti-Semitic. But some people are like, well, he was only mildly. It's like, what are we trying to say? Anyway, we are off the subject, Chase. Get back to what this cartoon's about. But I do like the progression of the show, because we were getting to know more characters, and what they're actually given to the plot. However, the last 2 episodes felt rushed. I felt like the conclusion of the show was fine, but it took 10 episodes, and it felt like, boom, we are done. We are closing off this chapter. We're closing off this show. Period. End of subject. And it feels like some character arcs weren't developed at the very end. It felt like they should have gotten more. I know the sister character, I did want a little bit more for her. It was kind of a sad ending, but I just wish it was a little bit more for that. Also, with the bad company, it feels like that could have been more in depth as well. You have the main guy, but there's also these, I want to say boardsmen that were like trying to deceive people and trying to figure out what was what. But it also just makes you wonder, like, is this a Japan-centric issue? I always wonder that, because this whole thing was about, this scientific wavelengths, if you want to put it that way, that the more there is to it. But then it also doesn't explain the little rabbits, or not the real rabbits, the little toads. The toads could correlate with more sightings, with more earthquakes that hurt. Look, it is confusing. It's a simulation movie. It's kind of like Matrix, where you watch it the first time, you're like, what the fuck happened? This might be the same way if you watch it the second time, you might notice some little things. But on a first watch, it's a fun anime. If you want to watch something that's fun, kind of funny, good story, and just an overall, 12-episode breeze, ChäoS Head is for you. So ChäoS Head will receive a 3.5 out of 5 with Futon, which equals at 70%. We'll see the critics' review scores gave this one. Okay, I'm finding absolutely nothing on Rotten Tomato or anything right now. Oh. Oh, there was a season 2. Oh. Okay, when doing research, apparently there was a season 2 that came out 10 years later in 2017. which I knew nothing about because this just goes complete series. So apparently they did continue with this series 10 years later. Very, very interesting, but I can't find any reviews. It looks like on IMDb, 60%. Well, okay, 5.9, so 59%. So 59%, 70. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Well, no thanks, Bhutontopia. You Bhuton, take watch a great day. And I don't care what you say tomorrow, week from now, month from now, year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. And yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was bad. I'm a gory anime type of person. There was no gore in this one, but it did its job.